Welcome to MojoTravels, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 destinations combating over-tourism.
Are you a fan of our videos? Be sure to subscribe to MojoTravels and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.
For this list, we'll be looking at destinations that have suffered as a result of their popularity with tourists. Though COVID-19 has complicated the narrative surrounding over-tourism, the destinations on our list have all made concerted efforts to make tourism more sustainable. Number 10. Boracay Island, Philippines. The recent history of this island in the Philippines has been quite the rollercoaster. Mere decades ago, it was considered paradise on Earth, an idyllic getaway to rival the most beautiful beach destinations in the world. When the secret got out, however, it soon became completely overrun with tourists. And so, in 2018, Boracay Island was completely closed off to tourists for 6 months. This time was used to strengthen the infrastructure, clean up the area, and kickstart ecological recovery. When the island reopened in October of 2018, its new regulations made it something of a model for sustainable tourism, specifically the cap on tourists. After the effects of COVID, there have been some calls from local businesses to ease restrictions, so only time will tell if Boracay Island can continue along the path of sustainability. Number 9. Machu Picchu. When a bygone civilization leaves behind something so remarkable, it's only natural that everyone in the world wants to see it. This Inca citadel, located in Peru on a mountaintop of the Eastern Cordillera, has rightfully been called one of the new 7 wonders of the world. Unfortunately, Machu Picchu's popularity has also hastened its decline. All landmarks deteriorate with time, unless preserved, but here the heavy foot traffic from visitors has made the cultural erosion, so common with over-tourism, much more literal. Our fascination with Machu Picchu was destroying it. Thankfully, the Peruvian government has taken measures to protect the site by placing strict limitations on the number of people visiting at any given time. There are also ongoing efforts to preserve and restore the structures. With a more sustainable approach, Machu Picchu will hopefully survive to inspire generations of future travellers. Number 8. Santorini, Greece. It's hard to believe, but when international travellers first began visiting this beautiful Greek island, it was considered a sleepy getaway. Over the last 2 decades, however, it's become arguably the single most popular Greek island, and that's had a major effect on the lifestyle, culture, and quality of life. Locals are drastically outnumbered. The once distinct and authentic vibe has been undermined by increasingly tourist-centric businesses and experiences. At certain times of the day, the towns of Ia and Fira can feel like an amusement park. You find yourself stuck in a line, not for anything in particular, but quite simply to pass through a narrow part of the street. Santorini's economy has become hopelessly intertwined with tourism. There's likely no going back. What the local government has done, however, is start limiting the number of cruise ships. Day trippers have a tendency to flood the island while contributing the least to the economy. Number 7. Faroe Islands. The best way to combat over-tourism? Start planning for it the moment you see your travel industry beginning to take off. As travellers increasingly seek out unique, authentic, and remote experiences, once sleepy islands have become the hottest destinations. Boasting breathtaking views and awe-inspiring terrain, this autonomous territory of Denmark has often drawn comparisons to Iceland. And in recent years, word of mouth has caused the number of international tourists to multiply many times over. In order to preserve the beauty and integrity of the Faroe Islands, the entire place shuts down 1 weekend a year. The borders are closed to all visitors with the exception of a very small volunteer workforce who come to help clean and work on infrastructure. The goal is to make it so the beauty of the Faroe Islands can be shared with the world without being destroyed in the process. Number 6. Dubrovnik, Croatia. A few years ago, the fact that this city served as a shooting location for Game of Thrones was credited with the mass influx of tourists. While the popular series has come and gone, Dubrovnik only continues to get more and more popular. It's gotten to the point that Dubrovnik is often treated as a case study for over-tourism by travel experts. Given the city's stunning architecture, Mediterranean climate, coastal views, and rich local culture, there's little wonder as to why it's proven so enduringly popular. In recent years, however, the city's inherent charms have been severely tarnished by over-tourism, to the point that local officials have been forced to suggest drastic actions in order to balance the scales. First, efforts are being made to limit the number of cruise ships that dock, reducing the number of day trippers. There has also been a crackdown of souvenir stands in the aim of preserving the city's authentic character, as well as a ban on new outdoor seating restaurants. Number 5. Iceland. While Iceland was by no means the first destination to be affected by over-tourism, there are few destinations more synonymous with the concept since the term was first coined. With a population of just over 355,000 people and land to spare, it's the most sparsely populated country in all of Europe. The combination of the rustic natural beauty, diverse landscapes, and geothermal activity, however, has attracted travellers from far and wide, to the detriment of both the local culture and the environment. A 6-to-1 ratio of tourists to residents has impacted everything from local livelihoods to housing, and driven locals to steer clear of their own natural wonders. After a lengthy break from tourism resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic, Iceland is attempting to hit the reset button on their tourism industry. The goal? Targeted campaigns that encourage people to visit longer, slow down, and travel more of the country, rather than just the highlights. At the same time, there will be increased investment in infrastructure and environmental protection. Number 4. Amsterdam, Netherlands. The capital city of the Netherlands, Amsterdam has long been a go-to for bachelor parties and younger travellers, making it something of a mythic destination for those looking to party. Locals, however, are tired of this reputation and the type of travellers that it attracts, especially in such overwhelming numbers. As such, the city and country is taking a multi-pronged approach to change Amsterdam's public image. In terms of tourism campaigns, there's a concerted effort to shift attention to other parts of the country, in a bid to spread tourists out across more Dutch destinations. Within Amsterdam itself, the city has banned tours of the red light district, implemented more aggressive fines for minor infractions common amongst tourists like littering, and raised the tourism tax. The goal here is to promote a more respectful experience and discourage crowds. Number 3. Madrid, Spain. Spain is a beautiful and diverse country with a whole lot to offer. As such, it's a real shame that travellers all seem to congregate in the same few destinations, like Granada, Mallorca, and Barcelona. The latter city played host to a staggering 9.5 million overnight travellers in 2019. That doesn't take into account day trippers coming off cruise ships every day during the high season. Barcelona is a city where the locals have been pushed to the brink. The government is enacting policies to help combat over-tourism, but the biggest change actually comes from the people themselves, who have taken to the streets over the last decade to protest against the way tourism has fundamentally changed their city. As travel opens up again, it will be interesting to see how the city balances the economic need for tourism with the well-being of residents. Legislation has already been put in place, limiting new hotels and regulating short-term rentals. There have also been efforts to limit cruise ships. Number 2. Venice, Italy. Few destinations have suffered more intensely or longer from over-tourism than this iconic Italian city. Venice is undoubtedly one of the most picturesque, historically rich, and unique cities in the world. Its popularity makes sense, but that popularity has come at the expense of everything that makes this city so special. Tourist traps aren't just common, they're the rule. The narrow streets are so painfully crowded that soaking up the sights is all but impossible. The damage that over-tourism has done to this city, both culturally and in terms of its infrastructure, is incalculable. To diminish the damage done by the 20 to 30 million people who visit each year, local officials have been taking a multi-pronged approach. For starters, they aim to lower the number of tourists by limiting cruise ships over a certain size. An entrance tax is set to take effect in 2022, and hefty fines should bring a sense of renewed respect to the city. Embracing technology to win this war on over-tourism, Venice has even set up a command centre to track tourist movement, with the goal of continuously improving the way they handle tourism. Number 1. Kho Phi Phi Leh, Thailand. If you want the tourists to go home, there's really no better way to say it than by shutting down for months on end. That's exactly what happened to the world-famous Maya Bay beach, and this was before anyone had heard the term COVID-19. Overtourism has had such a negative impact on the local ecosystem that all of the Kho Phi Phi Marine National Park was closed to the public in 2019. June 2021 was set as a tentative date to reopen Maya Bay Beach, but this was back in 2019, and so the date has yet to be confirmed. There were some talks of reopening early to boost tourism in the wake of the pandemic, but as of yet, the local government is continuing to prioritise the environmental recovery of the local area. As last reported, even when Maya Bay reopens, the number of visitors will be strictly limited to somewhere in the ballpark of 370 people at a time. Considering it used to receive roughly 5,000 people every day, that's a major pushback against over-tourism.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MojoTravels, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.